Hi, how are you today? Right up front, I'll put a link to the article that I'm going to read below so that you can tell me how bad it is. But I thought it pretty much answered it eloquently. Eloquently spoke to all the questions I had about Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. And a lot of people are saying a lot of things, that he's a neo-Nazi, that he's alt-right, he's a clown, a lot of horrible things about this man, but I think we should at least know who we're talking about. And this came from a online magazine called Unpacked, which is I believe it's a Jewish newspaper or online service that does YouTube videos. And why did I pick that one? Because I think if the Israelis and the Jewish people are okay with Volodymyr Zelensky, that says a lot about whether or not he's not Jewish and alt-right and a neo-Nazi. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that word, but you know what? This is about clearing the air. I have never shied away from these kind of topics. The first video I did is Dr. Andrew Michaels. It was about Area 51 and an alien getting treated like an animal by the United States government in captivity after it crashed its ship. It wasn't able to communicate. And the whole video was about being humanitarian to an alien creature and showing it compassion and love and kindness and consideration. And one of the very next videos after that was hunting down, capturing Hitler and getting his DNA. And I had very little nice to say about that man. And once again, you probably shouldn't say these words. All these words I'm saying are verboten on YouTube. I'm not going to self-censor. If they don't want to monetize me or they want to limit me, they don't share my stuff anyway because I cuss and swear once in a while. And let's just get it over with. Hey, if you're going to do me in YouTube, do me in. You know, I'm tired of hiding. The world is in chaos right now, and I can't fight. I'm too old to go and fight. I'm too old to sign up. But I have gifts, and you have gifts too. And I'm using my gift to bring awareness, education, dispel conspiracies and lies, outright lies. At least listen. Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong, but listen. So the article is from Unpacked. Who is Volodymyr Zelensky, the Jewish president of Ukraine? And it starts off with, let's be clear about this. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky is Jewish and has zero ties to any neo-Nazi movement. And the article is by John Kunza. And you can tell I'm serious when I get my computer glasses out. These are my computer glasses. They're like perfect for computer work. They're perfect distance. Okay, so the article starts out, Ukrainian President Zelensky ended a video conference with European leaders Thursday night saying, "This may be the last time you will see me alive." Zelensky's rise to the presidency of Ukraine came as a surprise to many. A comedian, and he's considered to be the Jon Stewart of Ukraine, and was best known for satirically playing a president on television before elected as a real one in a landslide victory in 2019. Now the 44-year-old comedian turned embattled president is fighting for his life. He's fighting for his life. facing a Russian invasion, determined to oust him from power in a false denazification operation. Now, I can't verify it independently, but they've been sending hit squads to kill him. That's assassination. Right there, I have a problem with that. But if Putin wants to do that, maybe what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I heard there's a $1 million bounty on his head that a former Russian put on him in America. So, you want to play games? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, Mr. Putin. Keep sending those assassins and keep hiding in your bunker. So that's one thing. Man could run, and he's not. And I believe that. I think that's probably a true statement, that his life is in danger. In an address to the nation after the invasion, Russian President Vladimir Putin doubled down on his denazification explanation for his troops in Ukraine, saying that neo-Nazis are in control of the country. And these were tweets that were put out in his name or about what he said. Putin tells Ukrainian soldiers, take power into your own hands. It seems it will be easier to negotiate with you than with the band of drug addicts and neo-Nazis that sits in Kiev and has taken the Ukrainian people hostage. So the Ukrainian people are hostage. That's why they're fighting tooth and nail with this Russian army. So what do you think about those new talks and minks? Yeah. Then this next one, I think, is a direct quote, but I'm not sure. Don't let neo-Nazis and banderites use your children, wives, and parents as a human shield, Putin says. I can't say he has his finger on the pulse of Ukrainian military personnel, but, and I would like to add, then quit throwing missiles at buildings, apartment buildings, and killing civilians, and maybe they won't be involved. Like, go back home, Russia, and then maybe civilian women and children won't get killed. There's a good start. You asshole. Putin, you're an asshole. Okay, is Zelensky a Nazi? Okay. Let's be clear about this. Ukrainian President Zelensky is Jewish and has zero ties to any neo-Nazi movement, and I have verified that through tons of sources. In fact, members of his family were murdered during the Holocaust. Remember that little thing? The Holocaust, and others fought in the Red Army against Nazis. In World War II, they were welcomed as liberators, and then they turned on the people of Ukraine and started liquidating them. And we're going to keep it simple, liquidating them. And the Holocaust was not just Jewish people, it was Slavic people, it was gypsies, it was a lot of people got liquidated. Whole villages wiped out. And these people remember that. They're not really fond of the Nazi party, okay? How can I be a Nazi? Direct quote from Zelensky. He said in a speech after the invasion, explain it to my grandfather who went through the entire war in the infantry of the Soviet army and died a colonel in an independent Ukraine. And he has there's a quote from somebody that's from Zelensky, I think he's Jewish, says, as we slip into the Sabbath, this is a message Zelensky had. We are here, our army is here, the armed citizens are here, we are all here defending our independence and our country. And so we will continue. Glory to the men and women who protect us, glory to Ukraine. The Sabbath is the holy day for the Jewish religion. In the same election that put Zelensky into power, far-right groups only managed to obtain around 2% of the overall vote and did not secure a single seat in parliament. These are verifiable facts, okay? Look them up. This is not, as you say, propaganda. This is something you can look up. Zelensky is not a Nazi, nor does he have any Nazis in his government. I would like to put out there, why don't you do a search on the amount of people that consider themselves in that group in England, France, United States, Canada, Sweden, and let me know if it's 2%, 3%, 4%. and get back to me on that, because I think Ukraine's got a very large Jewish population, and I don't think those two groups really go together real well. Do they have racism and bigotry and classism in Ukraine? I'm sure. Do they have them in England, Sweden, Germany, France, United States, Canada? I'm pretty sure, don't you think? So what's Putin's argument here? Okay. Then that tells a little bit about his life. Early life as a comedian. Yes, he did start out as a comedian. Ronald Reagan was an actor. Donald Trump was, for all intents and purposes, he was a businessman, but he was also an actor. So, and Donald Trump was in pro wrestling, and Donald Trump was in comedy roles, and, you know, Home Alone 2 was a comedy, so he did comedy roles, so it was good enough for us. Is it good enough for the Ukraine people? Or is being a comedian somehow make him less of a human being? And I could tell you right now, when you talk about comedians, we could use Robin Williams right now. We could use a little Robin Williams right now, among other people. Zelensky was born to two Jewish parents on January 25th, 1978, in the Ukrainian town of Kryvyi. His father is a computer science professor, and his mother is an engineer. So he came from a very intelligent set of parents. So he probably turned out like my kids were pretty quick, and he sounds like he was too. From a young age, Zelensky was interested in comedy, joining a group when he was 17. He went to college and received a degree in law. It's interesting. Very verifiable, I'm sure. But he never practiced, deciding instead to pursue more comedy gigs, which is normal for people that are in the arts. They usually have a fallback career. His career grew, and in the early 2000s, he landed starring roles in multiple Russian-language feature films and TV shows. One of his films, the romantic comedy Love in the Big City 2, which I'd love to see this movie, was banned in Ukraine due to a law that prohibited Russian artists and other Russian works of media and art from being seen in their country, probably because of Vlad's propaganda mill. They limited their exposure to their crap. I found that interesting. In September of 2003, Zelensky married his childhood classmate, Olena Kiyashko. The two were not friends growing up, but are from the same village. Kiyashko studied architecture in college, but ended up becoming a writer for Zelensky's production company. The couple have two children. Alexandra was born in 2004, and Cyril was born in 2013. Alexandra actually appeared in her father's movie 8 New Dating, the number 8 New Dating, playing the child of the movie's main character. I think that's cute. Daddy loves his little girl, so he's a good family man. In 2015, Zelensky landed one of his most high-profile gigs, producing and starring in a TV show called The Servant of the People. In the show, Zelensky played a high school teacher who won the Ukrainian presidency after posting a viral video exposing government corruption. Okay, that led to his rise into politics, and that's where the next section is. Rise into politics. The success of Servant of the People morphed into the grassroots creation of a centrist political party of the same name in 2017. Let's see, 2 years later, Zelensky launched his bid for the Ukrainian presidency in a virtual campaign. His campaign focused on rebuilding trust in politics, telling the German magazine Der Spiegel in March of 2019 that he would really like to change the mood and timbre of the political establishment as much as possible. Okay. Zelensky was elected president of Ukraine on April 21st, 2019, beating incumbent President Petro Poroshenko with nearly 73% of the vote to Poroshenko's 25%. I'm sure that angered certain people in Moscow, because it went downhill from there, baby. Zelensky the president. So here they had done the whole Crimea thing and pushing them around and everything and trying to push the Ukrainians around, and they voted a centralist in to oppose them. The people spoke. So the will of the people was out there, and things started ramping up after 2019 quite quickly. Okay. So he angered some people just by existing, and his party just existing. It's my opinion, but it's also very verifiable, because you never even heard about Ukraine until he became president, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket. As president, Zelensky has positioned himself as a reformer, working to bring Ukraine closer to the West, rooting out corruption, and seeking to rebuild the country's relationship with Russia. Well, that's good. He's trying to work things out with them. Zelensky is in favor of Ukraine becoming a member of the European Union and NATO, but he said the decision was ultimately up to Ukrainian voters in the form of referendums. Very good. It should be. Since becoming president, he made rebuilding the military one of his top priorities. Okay. He faced protests early in his presidency after unsuccessfully trying to rein in the breakaway eastern provinces. Also, early in 2019, he faced pressure from then-President Donald Trump to investigate Hunter Biden. The U.S. relationship improved under President Biden, and Zelensky visited the United States in 2021, meeting with political and business leaders. I don't want to touch too much on this because I think most of my audience is aware of the impeachment of Donald Trump, and it had a lot to do with the Ukraine. And I don't really want to be divisive, and I don't want to insult people. You can make up your own minds on that. But, yeah. His presidency has had its ups and downs. Opinion polls in September of 2020 showed his approval rating at 32. A lot of people think Donald Trump was a great president. He had horrible approval ratings. A lot of people think Joe Biden's a great guy. He has a horrible approval ratings. The people of Ukraine, I think in the modern era, it's not uncommon for somebody to have horrible approval ratings. Here we have 32% for Zelensky. I've heard the same thing of almost every politician, every leader. I think that's part of the new woke culture, the aware internet audience, that people are able to disseminate information more, and they also feel the politician isn't speaking directly to them. He is not talking about issues that they thought were important to them, and basically what you have with these 32% approval ratings is your hardcore base is they're no matter what Zelensky, Trump, Biden does, that 32% is they're never gonna not vote for him or turn their back on him. And that's not insulting to anybody. I said that about everybody. And then there's those people in the middle, and I think I'm actually one of them. They are trying to literally, you have 32 over here and 32 over here. That's 64% of the voting population, say in the United States, for instance. The other 30, 40% of the voting population, all of the ads, all of the political mumbo jumbo you have to listen to for 2 freaking years to elect a president, is all focused on those 20, 30%, 40% of people that swing either way. So they spend millions of dollars to get me to vote for somebody, because I'll vote for the best candidate or against a candidate if I don't approve of what he's doing. So I think it would be fair to say I didn't like my choices in the last 4 elections for different reasons, and every reason was different every time. And I only had one election that I voted in that my candidate won. So I was on the losing side 3 times out of the last 4 or 5. So, if that makes you feel any better. Very Jewish president. And just in case, like, I've had a lot of people accuse me of being, you know, liberal and a cuck and a libtard. I love that one. And all these other filthy things they can come up with. You know, I was very supportive of John McCain. I was okay with Barack Obama, kind of, but then I found out he was going to ruin the power plant I worked in, and that is what happened. They closed the coal-fired power plant I worked in. But I wasn't real fond of Joe Biden, was not fond of Trump, was not fond of Hillary. She was screwing up royal in the election, her election cycle. There was no way I was voting for Ted Cruz. He's a see you next Tuesday. I mean, good, bad, or otherwise with Trump. Trump made fun of his old lady, and then he goes and puts his nose up Trump's ass. I wouldn't vote for Ted Cruz if you paid me $1,000. $10,000? Trying to be funny. Trying not to alienate everybody. Anyway. Okay, very Jewish president. In a speech Wednesday, Zelensky called upon the Jewish people of the world to stand up for his country. That's what Nazis do, right? Okay. Yeah. You know, there you go, Putin. That was a good one. Okay, in his speech, Zelensky specifically called out deadly attacks by the Russians on 2 Jewish areas, the Babin Yar Holocaust Memorial in Uman, the spiritual birthplace of Hasidic Judaism. They did accidentally bomb a Holocaust memorial, and was it an accident? I do think it's an accident when they hit an apartment building or a memorial, but you chose to throw the missiles over the border at that sovereign, independent, democratically elected country. So you're not getting away with, you know, you kill kids, you blow up a hospital, you blow up a Holocaust memorial, people get killed. It's kind of your fault when you invade, so sorry. Last night we were all bombed in Kiev, and we all died again in Babin Yar from a missile attack. I am now addressing all the Jews of the world. Can't you see what is happening? Therefore, it is very important that now millions of Jews around the world won't be silent. Nazism is born in silence. That is true. Therefore, shout about the killings of civilians. Shout about the killings of Ukrainians, Zelensky said in the video address. Silencing or being silent about political movements is how you get extremism. Whether it's liberal extremism, alt-right extremism, did you hear me? Both. When you're silent, when you remain silent, or are silenced. So you can silence a movement like alt-right movements, and they fester in an umbrella, under a bucket, under, you know, your lights under a bushel type thing. You have to let people get their feelings out, let them talk, let them voice their opinions, and then you have to air out these ideas. And that's how you show people, by talking, by communicating, by being open. And that's how you get people from being too liberal, too conservative, and more to the center, and realize that there are more important things going on here that we need to focus on. So that's important. Okay, back to the article. Zelensky has been outspoken about his Judaism, and his Jewish roots were widely known on the campaign trail. Hello. The Ukraine president said he grew up in an ordinary Soviet Jewish family. Not a very religious one, since religion didn't exist in the Soviet state as much, which is fair. And you could say that about Orthodox Christians too, and in Russia at the time, so that's not unusual. Under his administration, Ukraine adopted the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. So this guy's supposed to be an anti-Semite, neo-Nazi, alt-right, bungler, whatever he is, criminal, and he adopted anti-Semitic laws, criminalizing anti-Semitic acts with fines or jail time. Well, there you go. That's what Nazis are known for, protecting the Jews. They protected them so much they put them in camps. So can you think about this, people? IHRA defines anti-Semitism in part as a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews and denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor. Okay, this definition has been adopted by 35 countries, at least a dozen American states, the European Union Parliament, and more than 1,000 organizations and universities worldwide. It was formally endorsed by the government of Israel in 2017. Okay? In an interview with the Times of Israel, Zelensky also commented on the Jewish state. And this is what he said. It's a direct quote. "I respect Israel as hugely special, especially given all the sensitivities around it. The unity of Israel, the unity of the nation," he marveled. "The Jews managed to build a country, to elevate it without anything except brains and people and American money. The Jewish people in Israel are a unique people, a unique population." I had to. It has economic strength because of the United States. "There are many countries in the world that can protect themselves, but Israel, such a small country, can not only protect itself, but face external threats, and it can respond." That's nice. I like that. So, what I want you to take away from this, that's the article. I could read another one, but I think we'll stop there. And I'll just make a few points. Vladimir Putin is open about Orthodox Christianity in Russia. I know that. I don't know how he stands on the Jewish question, but he seems to waffle between how he wants to free everybody from these alt-right people, yet it seems like he's connected to a lot of alt-right groups. Chechens, anyone? And, death squads from Chechnya. And he seems to want to control the Russian Orthodox Church. He seems to have a severe problem with some Christian groups, and I know this. I'm not a very big fan of the Jehovah's Witness religion, but the Jehovah's Witness religion is being literally persecuted in Russia. You can look this up. This is verifiable, and it's not a joke, and my heart bleeds for people who are persecuted because of their religion. The Jehovah's Witnesses have this meeting hall thing, and he's afraid it's a bastion of free speech, and he is against the Jehovah's Witnesses big time. And I've seen apostate Jehovah's Witnesses speak out against it because it's so bad that it's going on in Russia. And it's not a secret that Mr. Putin is very homophobic, very transphobic, very, very violently homophobic. And, if you don't like somebody, that's fine, and you don't agree with their lifestyle, that's fine. But these are human beings, and what these dictators and these people do that get too extreme, remember the extreme thing I was explaining earlier, is they like to segregate out these little tiny minorities. They may not care if a person's gay or trans or Jehovah's Witness or anything else, or a certain religion. That's why the Jews were always a good target. They were always a minority wherever they were. And we can get rid of them, and we can get all the people in line, because we can turn this little tiny minority into a boogeyman. And that's the whole idea, there's these raving bands of this type of people, and they're gonna, rape our men and women and kill our children and convert our kids and put ideas in their heads and all this bull crap. And really, if you just leave the people alone, they'll just go about their business and leave you alone. It's when they start to isolate these people and turn them into this boogeyman, and that's what they're doing. And the whole idea of that is to control the population through fear. They want you to live in fear. And Vladimir Putin is very good at this. He was a spy master. He was in Eastern Germany, and he was probably a assassin, KGB agent, and watched the fall of the USSR from East Germany and saw it as a personal failure. And he has this grandeur idea in his mind that he's going to bring Russia back to some kind of pre-Soviet Union glory, the glory of a country that let its people starve and went bankrupt and had to beg the United States for cash influx money to feed its people. A country at the height of the Cold War that was getting grain from the United States and Canada to feed its people. Couldn't even feed its people. And that's the kind of stupidity and logic, last century thinking, this time we're going to put the country together, and this time we're going to get it right. World War I didn't work out, so this time we're going to do it right. And these things never work out. And I know there's good guys and bad guys, and a lot of people hate the United States, and a lot of people hate Great Britain and Germany and Russia, and some people think Ukraine is bad, some people think Russia's bad. But the bottom line is, the whole world is speaking on this. And the whole world wants its voice to be heard. And I've said it in comments, and I'll say it in the video. This isn't about the people of Russia. This isn't about the people of Ukraine. This is about one man, Vladimir Putin, spreading lies, propaganda, and bullcrap. And he's been doing it for so long. And he's been living in his own little echo chamber for so long that he doesn't even realize how big of an asshole he is. He's got himself surrounded by all these yes men telling him, oh, you're the greatest, bowing down and licking his boots. And he doesn't even realize he's detached. The whole world thinks he's an asshole. And you could say that it's the biggest conspiracy in the world, and the whole world's being duped, and blah, 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 blah. And the United States does bad things, and Canada does bad things, and England does bad things, and Germany does bad things. Well, that's all fine. Wonderful. Yay. A big bad guy sandwich. Turkey does bad things too. But you know what? They're not killing Ukrainians with missile strikes right now. They're not destroying a representative democracy right now. They're not sending hit squads of assassins to assassinate the leader, a freely elected leader of a sovereign nation right now. I don't see anybody else sending hit squads to Russia. And I want you to think about that. And I don't think I'm convincing anybody. I think I've weeded out my audience to the point where I have my own echo chamber here. But you'll see in the comments different opinions and stuff. And as long as you keep it civil, I'll let you have your say. And if you're pro-Russian, I understand that, everybody's picks sides in these things. In the United States, it's horrible. The minute anything happens, political or otherwise, 50% of the people go here, 50% go over here. And the rest of us are in the middle going, what the fuck? And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I don't want to act like, ooh, poor TirarADeguello, ooh, boo-hoo. I've been doing ASMR for a long time. My whole life I've felt the effects of ASMR, and I've connected with so many people in my life. And I have Jewish friends and Christian friends and atheist friends and Russian friends and Ukrainian friends. A beautiful Ukrainian lady and her daughter used to watch my kids when they were growing up, my boys. And I know Russians that would cut their arm off to help a friend. I know Russians that would lay down on the road and let a tank run over them to save a friend. They're good people. They're not bad people. And I think Mr. Putin has been lying so much, constantly, for so long, that he has literally turned into the boy who cried wolf. And the people of the world are growing up all at the same time and becoming educated and wise to the bullcrap that's out there. Enough people have died. Enough people have ruined their lives. And enough people have lost family over this bullcrap politics and division and this extremism that everybody's pushing on the people of the United States, Europe, and they're wising up. They're getting wise to people like Putin. And it's happening all at once. I told a very nice young lady, she's an artist, Zoe, I can't remember her channel name. She's really good, Zoe ASMR. Doesn't it feel different this time? This isn't even like the Persian Gulf. I'm from that era. There were people on both sides, but the whole world came together, but not like this. This is the people. In the Persian Gulf War, the governments came together. And we hated the Iraqis, and we hated them. And even the Arab countries joined in, and everybody hated Saddam Hussein. He was this big bad guy, and he had these horrible Republican Guard people that were supposed to be vicious animals. And everybody had their perfect little black hat bad guy. And George Bush came swinging in there and, you know, shook his finger at the camera. You know, don't be picking on the Muslims and Islamic people, because they're our allies, you know, Saudi Arabia and Syria, and we're going to go in there and teach the Kuwaitis, and we're going to teach Saddam Hussein a lesson and all this, you know. And we did the big, you know, flag waving thing and freed Kuwait, but it was the governments pushing it. This time, it's the people pushing it. People are saying they've had enough. Like, come on. We just got over a goddamn pandemic that killed people all over the globe. It ruined families and devastated people, devastated incomes. And as soon as we get our heads this far above water, goddamn Putin has to start this horse shit in Ukraine. Now, if no matter what you believe in, no matter who you vote for, no matter what you care about, can we at least have an amen on that, brother? Like, hello? Haven't we suffered enough as a world population? Like, you want to talk about bad timing and complete stupidity? Come on, Vlad, wake the heck up. You got a young wife, chase her around that bunker of yours and call the troops back home before somebody puts a slug in your mouth. You know, wake up, smell the coffee or the vodka. Is there somebody in Russia, just get them drunk and then tell them, you know, this invasion stuff's a bad idea. Let's all go on vacation. Maybe he'll fall for it. You know, get him liquored up. He listens to everybody around him. He's got surrounded by yes men. Maybe he'll think you're all telling the truth. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. Zelensky is not a bad guy, and he is Jewish. And if I get demonetized or if I get dinged for this video, okay. But please leave a comment, a like, subscribe to my channel, help me out. I'm going to take a hit for this video. But I want to always be on the right side of things for my audience and the people that I love and care about. I love my country. I love the United States of America. And I love my friends in all over the world. And I've tried so hard to reach out to so many of you. You know that. And all are welcome here. Now, you're not going to be welcome here if you're mean and horrible and full of hate. You need to go back and rethink what you're doing. But otherwise, all are welcome here. I'm just not going to have you hurt people for your own joy. And I think everybody can understand that. I'm going to leave you now, and please let me know in the comments below. It really helps. Rating, sharing, subscribing. I'm not begging, but I've been taking some real hits from these videos, but I'm doing videos I want to do. And I wanted to do this. I just wanted to put myself down that this is where I stood on history. My grandfather fought in North Africa and Italy and Sicily in World War II. His name was Melvin Atlas Graffus, and you can look that up. It's public information, all the soldiers' names. And my wife's grandfather, his name was Kenny Gross. And he fought on the battleship North Carolina in World War II. He was a Marine gunner. And both of those men survived that and helped free a lot of people. And whether you are for the United States, against the United States, we turned two enemies, Japan and Germany, into trading partners with the United States and the West, and made friends, not enemies, after World War II. And we tried to make friends with the Soviet Union when it collapsed, but we've made some successes there and some failures. Maybe Vladimir Putin needs to think about that we're trying, we keep screwing up. Maybe we're not the greatest nation on earth, but darn it, if we don't try, does that make sense? Is that okay with everybody? I care about all of you, and I am going to have a new video soon. I'm going to start getting rid of this. I'm going to do the Amish Doctor. I can't wait. Oh my God, you're going to love it. Yeah, I'm Amish. So stay with me. Don't give up on me, because I never gave up on you. I never did. I never quit. I never gave up. And to the people of Russia and the people of Ukraine, I'm not giving up on you either. I'm not quitting. We're not quitting. It's not how you do things. This is about the people. The people want it to stop. So let's keep working towards that. There might be a lot more ugly days in front of us, but maybe the end can be better, and better for the people of Ukraine, and the people of Russia can benefit from a horrible event. Maybe we can make something good of this eventually and bring more peace to the world somehow, more balance, and more haven't we suffered enough in the last 2 years? If nothing else, old Vladimir Putin, he's got the worst timing I've ever seen. And I don't think anybody would argue with that. I think we've been through enough as a world. We didn't need this. And threatening people with nuclear weapons, fine. This might blow your mind, fine. If that's what he wants to do, fine. It's called mutual assured destruction. He's not going to live through it any more than the rest of us. So if that's what he wants, to get biblical on everybody's ass, fine. But they'll make sure they get you, Vlad. The United States will make sure they get you. And that's not a threat. It's just a fact. It's called MAD for a reason. And they will, most assuredly, it will be equal destruction. So, He needs to quit playing guns and toys with the armies and men's lives and start acting like a leader and acting like a person who cares about the people that are under his control. Until I see all of you again, I care about you. I love you, and I wish you the best, okay? Have a most blessed day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.